Hi, Lily Quinn here. How are you? Okay, I want to walk you through how to create a pleat. Okay, how to create a pleated um, skirt or pleat. Okay, let's get started. All right, so I'm showing you this because it's the finished look. And before you pleat anything, this is a part of what we call intakes. Before you do anything, you want to make sure that you have the hem or the bottom hemmed nicely, okay, out of the way. Okay, so this is a 1/4 inch hem that was created here. And it's done at the bottom, only on one side. Then the other side is where the pleating is done. So I have this piece of fabric, and you can see I haven't hemmed the bottom yet. I'm going to do that in a second, but you need to know the measurements. Okay, we need to know the measurements because this is a sample. Just using 18 inches by, I don't think I had exactly 8 here. I probably have like 7.5, which is okay. You do 8 inches by 18, 8 by 18, and you will get the full length that goes with it. The next thing is to mark. This is going to be a knife pleat. So you mark after the measurements, you use a tape measure or ruler to mark. This is the tape measure. Before you mark, these are 1 inch intervals. You reserve this side about 1/2 inch, okay, about 1/2 inch size of seam allowance over there. And then from there, you begin to mark 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch through and through all the way till you get to the end. But for now, let's go on and create the hem. Now, we take a 1/4 inch hem and we fold it over like this, and it's going to be a double hem. So we take a 1/4 inch and then we roll it over itself like that, and we pin. Okay, you want to make sure that it is giving you the exact fold as you go. You don't want it to be crooked. So you keep your eye out, look at the beginning, and you're doing it a little at a time. It means that at the very beginning of cutting, it has to be straight from the get-go, right? You can't have a straight hem with a crooked line. You know, the edge has to be completely straight. So we continue like that. And we fold. It's a double fold. You fold the bottom 1/4 inch, and then you fold it over itself again, and you pin. Okay, so now I have pinned it all the way, and I'm getting ready to stitch. I want to turn the hand wheel, and I do want to reinforce the beginning, so I do a back stitch, and in order that the machine doesn't eat up my fabric, I walk my way. Okay, and I'm stitching on the inner edge. Okay, so then I take the pins out as I go. Okay, and you maintain the needle position, just a straight line as you go. You're not stitching in the middle, you're stitching close to the raw edge, the folded inner edge. And let's see if we can do a back stitch. Okay, and that's it. And cut close to the fabric so you can see the hemmed bottom. All right, and trim off this. All right, Now we're going to do the pleating itself. So we're back to the pleat, all right? Now, you can pleat in the front or you can pleat in the back. It's a knife pleat. It really doesn't make a difference. But this is how you do the pleating. Now, in order to make this easy, because it's it's a sample, I'm going to write on the fabric to make things easy. Now, this 1/2 inch that I left here is supposed to be the same allowance. So I don't number it. I'm just going to cross that off. But I can put, it takes 3. It takes 3 points to make a pleat. So I go 1, 2, 3, all right? And then I start again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It would be clear in a few why I'm doing that. 1, 2, 3. 1, because sometimes I find students get confused when they don't know which to pick and which to skip. 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 and 2. It doesn't really go all the way to 3. It doesn't matter. I can just start because this is a sample, okay? So here we go. I'm going to pinch. This is the process. You pinch 1, and the pinching or the picking of the piece of the fabric on that line is kind of an imaginary line. It's through the whole fabric, but you can start with just the part here. You pick or pinch number 1, skip number 2. You don't put it on 2, you skip 2 and bring the whole number 1 onto 3, onto the number 3. Then we position it there and pin in the middle. You don't pin on the edge. We pin in the middle so that is kind of holding the whole pleat, okay? So we just keep doing that. We pick 1, make sure you pinch and kind of straighten it, skip 2, and put it on 3. So all 3 points are involved in creating the pleat. Again, pinch, skip, and place on the 3rd marking. And pin vertically in the middle, okay? That way, as you go, you are forming the pleat. So you pinch, skip, and you pin in the middle. Keep doing that. Make sure that it's going through the whole length of the fabric. Okay, generally you should be ironing as you're doing this. Pinch, skip 2, march on 3, onto 3. And you pin vertically in the middle of the pleat. And then the last one, we pick 1, we skip 2, and there's no 3 to put on. So we'll just make a small pleat. Doesn't matter. Okay, this is all for a sample, so we're not trying to be... of course, if you're doing an actual size, a precise one, like to fit a particular body size, you would need to create exact sizes or measurements. But this is just to show you how the fold is done. And then this is the fun part. We're going to stitch on pins or over pins. All right. We're going to make sure we have our... Actually, we can do this. We can just draw a straight line about 1/2 inch seam allowance. You know, this ruler is 2 inches across like this. So any lines here, if you can see the division of 4, the first divide like this from the edge to this point is actually a 1/2 inch, then 1 inch, then 1.5, then 2 inches. So I just want 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to position it on the edge so that I can draw a straight line. Okay, so we go like that. Anyhow, so this line is what is going to help us to secure the whole pleats. And so we come here, and you have to be careful. This is where it's important to make sure that the pinning is in the middle of the pleat. If you put it somewhere here, you're going to have pleats jumping over and folding over themselves. So you have to be careful as you stitch across to note that nothing is folding over itself. Now, you don't take out the pins as you stitch. This is the first time you're going to be stitching over pins. How do you do it? You walk your machine over if you're not sure that you might hit the pin. Just walk it over the pin. Otherwise, what happens is as you stitch, it naturally goes over the pins. For some reason, it kind of knows its way and it goes over the pins, and that's it. Okay, and follow the line. And now you can free the pins. And there goes your pleat. You iron the pleats down nicely, and you can hang it, you know. Remember the bottom, you do the hem, and then you do the top pleat. This is just to demonstrate how the pleating is done. If you are going to attach this to something else, let's say a top, or do I have any, let me just use the paper to represent it. Let's say this is a top that is going to be added a bodice, then you position it and you join the two. But at least for now, you have your pleat secure. Thanks for watching. And repeat the same thing. If you have any questions, you can send them to or text them to me. Thanks.